It's another beautiful Monday morning, and we want to welcome you to Providence Television International. We want to thank God for life. We want to thank God for making us to sleep and wake up to see a brand new day. It's the morning drive, and I want to say welcome on board. My name is Edna Cesar Garrick, and as usual, I'm not alone in the studio. I have here with me
Bebo Ikekwa is my name. Welcome. Thanks for staying tuned to us.
And quickly, we'll drive you around some dailies that have a striking headlines this morning. And we'll start with The Matrix, which says, National Assembly running cost salaries. Serap blows hot. Issues 7-day ultimatum to Akpabio. Abbas to reveal details. And still under The Matrix, we have, it says, Traversy, fundamental breach of fiduciary duties to fake salaries, and demands return of any misused or mismanaged running costs and allowances. And still moving on The Matrix, it said bandits abduct over 10 in Zamfara community. You see the details of this particular news on page 17 on The Matrix newspaper. And now to first news, it says long queues, price hike, government crackdown as fuel scarcity hits Lagos hard. And there's a rider there which says devastating floods in Castina, over 250 homes destroyed, residents left in despair.
And on the Daily News Hub, Utomi, ex-Ogun State Governor, a Muslim, fight dirty over OPIC land dispute. That is on the front page of the Daily News Hub. Still on the front page of the Daily News Hub, ECOWAS intensifies efforts to stop Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso exit. And moving over to the Daily Sun newspapers, on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper, new law sparks tension in police as regards Inspector General of Police tenure. And still on the front page of the Daily Sun, petrol scarcity worsens as federal government marketers trade blame. A rider to that effect, commuters stranded, long queues at filling stations.
And now to the Leadership newspaper. The striking headline there says food insecurity persists despite state of emergency. And still under the Leadership, it says FAO project 31.5 million Nigerians at risk of acute hunger. And still there it says stakeholders call for more aggressive approach. And moving on to the New Telegraph newspaper, it says as fuel scarcity bites harder, price hits 980 in Abuja and 850 per litre in Lagos.
And to the Punch newspapers, a screaming header there, food crisis may worsen as flood hits 10 states. A rider to that effect, farmers groan as floods ravage farmlands in Sokoto, Kano, Kebbi and 7 other states. Moving from the Punch newspaper, we now go to the Nigerian Observer, where we have hope rises for Nigeria's steel industry. A rider to that effect as Russian engineers arrive at Jokuta complex. And that's the paper review for this morning. Issues as regards food insecurity.
Yes, this food insecurity. Now, flood is already ravaging some parts of the state in Nigeria. Even before that flood started, there was hunger. There is hunger in the country. Now that the flood is already hitting some states in the country, what do you think people will do pertaining to this hunger?
Well, this is actually, as regards the flood, that's quite a natural disaster. I think basically what we should be looking at, you cannot really put things in place to stop natural disasters from happening.
Sure.
Yeah, but you don't have what you call disaster management. And then because of disaster management, that means more efforts, I think, have to be put in as regards all those states that are not yet hit with floods to go into much more efforts as regards agriculture. I think that's just the basic thing.
Now, all those farmers that have put so much money in trying to put things in place so that there will not be hunger in the land, how do you think they will feel now that the flood has hit their farmers?
The flood is not man's making. That is nature's making. And so one way or the other, they will have to bear their losses. We'll talk more on this issue as regards food insecurity in our interview section during this morning drive program. Don't go away, please stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. If you're just joining in, it is the morning drive on Providence Television International. This is the news analysis, the newspaper analysis session, and with me in the studio, I have Dr. Emmanuel Ehariwa. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Brilliant Monday morning. I hope the weather remains like this for quite some time, yes.
Thank you so much for coming. We will be looking at this issue, going down to the leadership newspaper. Food insecurity persists despite state of emergency. The issue of food insecurity. Sir, what is your take on this? We are talking about floods that in some states, ravaging some states. What should be done, just like Edda asked earlier on?
Well, we have organizations responsible for checkmating this. It's unfortunate that in this country, we always attack issues through the fire brigade process. We must prepare for emergencies. Usually we don't prepare for emergencies. All we tell people is you must move to the upland, and it's not enough, because floods sometimes do not give warnings. They just come and they flood the whole place. That is only one leg of the food security we are talking about. And what of the issue of banditry? We have not talked about that. After all, come to think of it, the season will come and go. Very soon the dry season will come and all will be back to normal. But what of the banditry issue? We are not tackling that, and it's been there with us for a long time, causing problems as far as food security is concerned. And allied to that is the issue of fuel price hike. And I think that's even the most precarious.
We're going to discuss that during the interview session.
Yes, we'll discuss that. It's the most precarious, because if the price of fuel is high, there is no way food prices will be down. So, it's one of those ironies. But I think that the federal government should tackle the issue of flooding very, very well. I remember a few years ago, the areas around the Middle Belt, Kogi and Benue and the rest, they were terribly badly flooded. And there was nothing we could do about it. We were just watching while lands were being ravaged. There was a break in the dam, for example, and we understand that the dam in Cameroon was left open and the whole thing. There was a deluge into Nigeria. But did we prepare for it? That's the problem. Why do we have weather reports, for instance? to tell us when the floods will come, and we ask people to move as quickly as possible. Okay? But as far as land is concerned, maybe we have no mechanism to control floods in this country. But don't forget also, this is the sad aspect of it, that this natural phenomena. Okay? It happens elsewhere around the world, in the US, in the Caribbean. It happens, but we are lucky, come to think of, we are lucky in this country. We are just talking about floods, flood water, for example. What of hurricane?
Okay.
What of tornado? We don't have such things in this country. Suppose we are ravaged by such, what will happen? We're just talking about flood, and we can manage the floods, right? So, government agencies responsible for this must be up and doing. We must not continue to count our losses year in, year out. No. I think it's completely out of place.
All right. For viewers out there, if you remember very well, just some few days ago, we discussed a topic as regards the amount that the senators presently earn. Newspapers are taking cue from our discussion, and so that means that Providence Television International, we are living up to that slogan of ours, the game changer. We'll give you the news firsthand as it is. And as regards that, from the Matrix newspaper, we have National Assembly running costs, salaries, syrup blows hot. Discussing that, sir, just like from our last discussion, Nigerians are not happy about the issue as regards the salaries that senators earn. Syrup is presently blowing hot. They are saying that they are issuing a 7-day ultimatum to Akpabio and Abbas to reveal details of their salaries. What is your take on this?
How many times in the past have we heard about this? I think it's becoming mere rhetoric. I mean, Nigerians want to see action, not things that have to do with threats or all of that. They want to see action. Even the setup we are talking about, how many times have they confronted the leadership of the National Assembly, for example? I don't think they've done that. And they have issued threats of legal action over and over again, coming to naught. And very soon now, the leadership of the National Assembly will begin to think that these people are not serious.
Okay.
More action than words. Okay? But think of it, yes, we discussed this a few days ago. Yes, I'm sure that somebody somewhere must have picked it up from this station.
Yes.
We discussed it very, very elaborately, that the salaries of the National Assembly members are totally outrageous. And guess what? And I've said it before, very soon, not very soon, they've already become an endangered species. Well-meaning people and generality of the people in this country do not want to talk about National Assembly members in good light. Very soon, and I hope my prediction does not come forth, that they will be afraid or ashamed to even go out to meet people, because we are living with a depressed economy. Why must we have the National Assembly members who breathe down on our necks, and yet they have no empathy, no compassion that these people are suffering? And the people know. I gave an allusion the other day that, look, some of them should try moving in public transport just to hear what people are saying about them. They will be shocked. They will be shocked. I have done it before, deliberately. So let me even hear what people are saying. And I was shocked. Very unprintable words about members of the National Assembly. Okay? I mean, in a country such as this, how can a senator be earning 25 million? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. No, truly, I mean, it doesn't make sense at all. And that's why organizations like SERAP and many well-meaning Nigerians are beginning to raise dust. Like, look, you need to review. But it takes willpower, political willpower, even for the presidency, to say, no, this is not right. We must review what they earn in tandem with the reality on the ground. The reality on the ground, as I said, does not support the kind of salary they are earning. And it comes back to the same issue which we have repeated on this station. That look, we don't need full-time. We don't need full-time National Assembly members.
Okay.
Why? And we don't even need a bicameral. We need a unicameral system. Just one. Yes, we are not the United States. The United States is rich. Okay? Even at that, as rich as the US is, their system operates on a part-time basis. So that's where we are.
We're going to slide straight to the interview session, still with me in the studio, Dr. Manuel Legari. Presently in Lagos, we're having price hikes. In Lagos, 850 naira as regards fuel. Abuja, 980 naira. We're gradually getting to 1,000 naira per litre of fuel. The country that is an oil-producing country, petroleum as regards petroleum. What's your take on this, sir?
My take on this remains the same. It remains the same to the extent that we do not need to buy fuel beyond maybe 150 naira a litre. And you know what happens now? If you have 1,000 naira, you want to buy fuel, that probably gives you a litre and a little quantity extra. If you have 4,000 naira, how much does that give you? When Buhari was here, we're buying fuel at about how much? Less than 200 naira, I think. But now we are groaning. The whole nation is groaning under the weight of this fuel price hike. And look at it now. I told a friend about 2-3 weeks ago, we are inching towards 1,000. And government will be lucky. Let me say it loud and clear. Government will be lucky not to have an uprising once it gets to 1,000. They would just be lucky. Because you see, at that point in time, it will affect virtually everybody. And small businesses are even affected more now because you need fuel to run your generators and things. I mean, to even get solar power system, it's expensive. I mean, a small place, they probably tell you about 3 million. How many people can afford that? Okay? That is why even media organizations, some of them are groaning under the weight because they use diesel. Most of them use diesel. And that's why they can't run full stream. They do some of them 8 hours, some of them 10 hours, some of them 12 hours, as the case may be. They can't. It's difficult. But let's hope that government will listen to the voice of reason. That look, petrol, once you touch fuel, I mean, I bought fuel this morning to my car, and I bought it about 900 naira, even in Benin. Okay? And what is even more worrisome is the fact that there are variables. You buy at some point 840, you go there in the evening, it's about 890. Okay? So there are no regulatory mechanisms for all of these things. And I don't want to quote, when I was buying fuel this morning, I don't want to quote what a gentleman said. He brought an SUV, a big car, and he was swearing under his breath. I don't want to talk about what he was saying. Yes, I won't say that because it's very unprintable.
Nigerians are not comfortable about the fuel price.
They are angry. They are very angry. As I said, you go there in the morning, it's probably about 8:50. You go there in the evening, on the same day. In other words, even the, what do you call them now, the marketers, people, yes. Marketers, we must checkmate them.
Okay.
Why is it that NNPC is selling probably at about 700 or whatever, then the others? I think the big problem lies with the independent marketers. Yeah, the IPMAN. Yes, independent marketers. Yes. They're the ones doing this damage. All right, but generally speaking, government should work hard to bring it down. The major marketers, they are still operating within very comfortable milieu. All right, but the independent marketers, most of them are Shylocks. They take undue advantage of what is going on. So that's where government should come in and bring the price to a considerably low level, so that people can enjoy themselves.
And do you think a reversal of the removal of fuel subsidy can hit that effect?
Of course, yes. Why? Of course, that's the bane of what we are going through now. You know, I think it just requires some willpower and clout to be able to do this. There's no shame in it. Once a policy takes a no drive, a good leader will say, no, okay, we have reached the end of the road. Let us go back to where we were. Okay. There's no shame in it because as it is, people are groaning. And it is the interest of the people that comes first. Their welfare. The Constitution talks about that. The security and the welfare of the people. Right now, the effects are biting. They are biting really hard, I can tell you. That is why, for instance, there are no middle-income people anymore. What do you call it now? It's just people at the lowest rung of the ladder and the people up there. So, nobody in the middle. We used to have people in the middle level, but none. That has disappeared completely. So everybody is now, most people are now on the one side. Then the others, probably politicians and the rest, they are on the highest rung of the ladder. And that shouldn't be. But I feel more for small-scale enterprises. All right. They cannot run their businesses on water. It is fuel.
Okay.
And worse still, public supply of electricity is not getting better. Okay. So you are hit. You are badly hit on both ends. If we had, and I say this seriously, if we had fuel price hike in this country and we have 24 hours of electricity supply, nobody will raise any eyebrow.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because the reason is obvious. Whatever you want to do with fuel, you can do with electricity. Okay? But right now, people are hit on both sides of the divide. And that is really tragic. Very tragic indeed for Nigerians. And they are not happy. Nigerians are angry. Very angry.
We can see what is presently happening. I wouldn't want to mention the name. That would be commercial. An independent refinery that's about to come up. Do you think independent refineries, if it come up, that it will solve this issue of fuel price hike?
Only marginally. Only marginally, because in any case, how many millions of gallons will they produce? We are talking about over 100 people. Yes, on a daily basis, who use fuel. I'm not even talking about motorists. What of the others? What of machinery? What of generators? Over 100 million people, close to 150 million people perhaps, who use fuel on a daily basis. And when you talk about fuel, you're probably also talking about diesel, all right? So, that's only one refinery. But my take on it is, we have 4 refineries in this country. And the question is, why are they not working? People have asked this question. Labour is gearing up for another strike now because of this. Because of the very fantastic salaries being earned by National Assembly members. They are gearing up for a fight. In fact, they call it inequity, all right? So, but if we have 4 refineries, look at it, well spread. 2 in Port Harcourt, 1 in Warri, and 1 in Kaduna. If they are working at optimal level, why should we have a problem in this country, for heaven's sake? Why should we? But a lot of people have said, and quite rightly, I guess, that they don't want to fix the refineries because not much money is coming from there into the private pockets. Does it not sound odd? We have crude, and we take crude out of this country. We refine it abroad
and bring it back.
And they pay dollars. That's strange. Very strange. Okay?
And on that note, you talked about, when we were discussing food security, you talked about the same relation. There was a relationship to the fuel issue, the fuel price hike issue. Can you expatiate on that a little?
Between the fuel price hike
and food, yes.
Food security.
Yeah,
of course, it's very
security.
simple logic, simple economics. Did it not surprise you that it was immediately after there was fuel price hike that food prices went up? Immediately. Because you see, there are no, well, first of all, we battle with the issue of bad roads. Then you now add the worst situation of fuel price hike. Because these vehicles use fuel. You cannot expect that a man who buys fuel at the rate of 200 naira a litre will bring these goods, this produce from the farms, alongside the man at equal opportunities, alongside the man who probably bought fuel at about 800. No, it's not done. Simple economics. It's not done. So and everything revolves around fuel in this country. We're a mono economy, don't forget. Everything around fuel. We don't have alternatives. Okay? In the home, you use generators. In the office, you use generators. You use generators for all kinds of businesses. Even the young girl, I gave an example the other day. A young girl wants to set up a salon. Is not thinking of dryers. She's not thinking of those things, those little you call rollers and stuff like that. Even the revolving chair, she's not thinking of that. Okay? The first thing she wants to buy is a small generator. This one they call Better Pass My Neighbor, which is quite expensive now. It used to be about 10 or 11,000. If you go to the market now, you know what it is, right? I bought a generator the other day for the office. Something that used to cost about 70,000. I paid about 400,000. All right. I'm not even talking of the fuel that I have to use on a daily basis. So we have issues, and government has to empathize and get more considerate. All right. We are dancing around in circles, and yet there are people in Abuja who are getting swollen stomachs on a daily basis. Their stomachs are getting swollen. Yes, because, I mean, let's put it graphically. There was a cartoon I saw the other day. I don't want to mention the name, but it's a major stakeholder in the National Assembly. People were running through the windows during the protests, and the fellow was laughing with a swollen stomach. There was a note below that very soon this thing will not be a joke any longer.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Look at the lifestyle. Look at the lifestyle of our legislators. Look at their lifestyle. Look at the kind of cars they are driving in a depressed economy. It doesn't add up. It doesn't even aid the process of propriety. It doesn't, because at the end of the day, people are watching them. They are watching them very keenly. All right, and it's just that the system of recall is not too potent in this country. There are many of the majority of them will have been recalled. Yes, they will have been recalled in a decent environment, in a well-meaning environment. They will have been recalled, and they know it. But because the people, they have been stampeded into there's a word I want to use appropriately. Yes, they have been stampeded into a malaise.
Okay.
Yes, total malaise, which is a general malaise in this country. And what is that? Poverty. And when poverty comes in, you cannot reason properly. Yes, you cannot.
And on that note, I want to tell you that in our next interview with Dr. Emmanuel Legariba, which will be Thoughts and Visions of Dr. Emmanuel Legariba, that will be coming up later today, we'll be talking about poverty in its entirety. Not just the poverty, financial poverty as the case may be, but the poverty of the mind. On this note, I want to tell you, please, for all those of you who are presently watching, tell your friends, tell your family, go to your groups anywhere that you are, about Providence Television International. Simply go to your YouTube, type in Providence Television International, and you are good to go. Our slogan still remains the game changer, and as the game changer, we'll have a whole lot lined up for your viewing pleasure. Don't go away. Thanks for watching. Once again, Dr. Legariba, thanks for being in the studio.
Yeah, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Please stay tuned.